Morning, everybody. It's Mandy from Chapel Forge. So I pulled my focaccia dough out of the fridge. I oiled the pan, oiled it's oiled all around. So that's rising. We'll cook that up later today. Hopefully use some of those canned grape tomatoes, pickled grape tomatoes, the freeze-dried basil that my dad gave me for my birthday, make it really pretty and delicious. We'll be working on that. I'm going to pull some discard off. I'm going to make some discard banana muffins, sourdough discard banana muffins, and then I'm going to feed it so that I can start another bowl. We're like halfway through each loaf that I did the other day. So I figure if I don't get the bowl and if I do a sandwich loaf or whatever for like 2 days, then that'll probably give us enough time to work through that stuff. So I'm going to get that stuff started. Everyone is still sleeping, which is great because I've been learning about dairy cows. So we're hoping, I've mentioned this before, hoping to get a dairy cow soonish. I mean, we don't have a timeline necessarily, but we go through a lot of milk. We like cheese, we like yogurt, we like things like that. And so it would be really awesome if we could get that added onto our homestead soon. So trying to soak in all that information and just enjoying my coffee and a quiet house this morning. So Bud made his pork cake and I'll show it to you here soon. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Dad is going to try to turn them into a delicious breakfast sandwich. So stay tuned. He literally had to boil the pork. It was odd. We were not looking forward to it. It's not too bad. It's kind of like a spice cake or like a fruit cake. So that's what we got going on, hopefully soon for breakfast. So I have some bacon thawing for breakfast this morning. I need to preheat the oven to make the banana muffins anyway. So we'll get the banana muffins and the bacon in the oven, thawing some bacon just for tomorrow. Because those big bags, I've shown you them before, that I get from Blessings of Hope, they kind of take a while to thaw. So we'll get that thawed so that we have it for the next couple days. Here's the big bags that we get from Blessings of Hope, and I can link my video about what that is. If you're local to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you can check that out. We're trying to work through that first because it's older than the pork bacon that the other one's pork bacon too, that we got from the hog that we just got. So obviously we're trying to save the bacon from the hog till we finish up the other, but these packs that we got from our hog are a lot smaller. So I can thaw one of these pretty quick. The breakfast sandwich thing with the pork cake was sort of like a last minute thing. So it honestly, and Bun did a great job. Like the crack up top is nice. It looks like a fruit cake and it doesn't taste that bad. I think that if Zad makes a no breakfast sandwich, it'll probably be okay. So I don't know if this is something everybody just does, but my mom always, when I was a kid, whenever we had bananas that went like brown or black or like just way beyond, always would freeze bananas in groups of 4. So she would just get out quart bags and then just throw in like groups of 4. I bought a huge banana box full of bananas for like super cheap, and so I had frozen them all in groups of 4. They were like way beyond and they were perfect for bread. So they look super unappetizing, they just look black and brown, but they smell so good because obviously all that sugar is like coming to the forefront. But anyway, it's perfect for bread and muffins and things like that, and I have like half a freezer full of them, so this is a great recipe to start using some of those up. All right, so you like Zad's butt there. So it's time to get coal. We've just been filling this wagon. We'd love to build a chute. You like our dirty windows also? We'd love to build a chute that goes from the coal cart out here, which I'll show you in a second, into the coal stove, but we're not there yet. So we're gonna wheel this wagon out and get some coal. Do you like that sunglasses? We couldn't find them, and I got like this 100-pack on Amazon for the kids. They're pink, they're nice. We've had like hellacious wind, which is fine. There's snow, so I'm fine with it. But our chairs are everywhere, blocking the path to the cart. So we used to get coal bagged, and then we got this coal cart at a mud sale, which if you're not from Pennsylvania or Lancaster County even, you might not know what that is. Basically, it's these auctions that they have in the spring when it's super muddy. Anyway, We got this coal cart or gravity wagon, whatever you want to call it, and kind of converted it for what we needed. So we just keep this big tarp on it. We used to buy it bagged, and it was fine. Like, it was still very economical to heat with coal, even when we had bagged coal. But it was at the old house when we were doing bagged, we'd have to like go get it, load the truck, come home, load the coal shed, as we called it, which was basically like a glorified wood rack that Dad built, and then drag it in the house, and we'd bring a few bags in at once, and it was just kind of annoying with the amount of coal we would go through. So then we got this thing. This holds about 4 tons of coal. In general, we haven't had to get coal for almost 2 years now, because the last couple winters were just frankly not that cold. We typically can heat in a winter for, I'd say, $200 to $400, depending on what's going on. Here, it might wind up being cheaper because we have, you know, 10 acres of woods with a lot of slash, and the people that lived here before us had some tree work done, and there's just a lot of like laying timber and things like that. So we have plenty of firewood. Anyway. This thing has been amazing. Zad's we have this little trash can that sort of broke. So he is just kind of putting that on the chute. This isn't ideal. This is our first winter here, so this works and gets the job done. So like I said, this isn't an ideal system. We'd love to put a chute in, but it works. It keeps us warm. All right, so these are my sourdough banana muffins. They look amazing. Not too. All right, so I'm sort of like decluttering some of our main living spaces. I can't worry about the garage right now. We'll worry about the shop another day, outside spaces, but it's like, feels like -1 today, and you know, winter's a good time to declutter some indoor spaces. So, I acquired, speaking of decluttering, and here I am bringing another Instant Pot. So I got this 10-quart Instant Pot for $100 from a friend. I have 2 6-quarts, which I talk about all the time. This is the one that I make yogurt in. Obviously, it is well loved and probably needs a bath. I cannot believe how much bigger this one is than this one. It's crazy. So this is where I kind of keep the small appliances that we use on a fairly regular basis. So both Instant Pots are always in there. The immersion blender, the sous vide. The food processor is in there. Once we get the garage set up that it can hold like my extra kitchen things that I don't need all the time, it may rotate out there. We just don't use it. Like, I don't want to get rid of it. I definitely need it, but I don't need it in the kitchen all the time. So if I can fit the 10-quart and the 6-quart in with the other 6-quart, the sous vide, and the immersion blender, and I think my hand mixer is in there, then it'll stay. If not, it might get retired to the garage for now. Also, I feel like this is really comical. This is our drawer. I made a drawer. This is our crate of waffle irons. So our old GE that we got at the thrift store for $3 is down there. The nice one I got Zad, that's also a panini maker for Christmas, is in there. Both of our Mickey waffle makers, and then our Peanuts one we also got at the thrift store. This cracks me up. I had to corral them because they kept falling. Do you love all this flour? Because every time I get flour, I spill some. And if you missed it, a couple weeks ago, I dropped the entire flour container that I had just filled on the floor, and the kids made snow angels, and it was like a whole big event. And so there's still flour in like every crevice. All right, it's tight, but it works. So we got the hand mixer, the 10-quart, the 6-quart, the 6-quart, the sous vide, and the immersion blender. And this poor sad soul is gonna get moved out to the garage. I definitely feel like what stays in the rotation in the kitchen sort of depends on the season. So like in canning season, my pressure canner, both my water bath canners, the water bath canner, the steam juicer, they are typically all staged in the kitchen. This stood true at the other house also. They just stayed in the kitchen like all the time because I was using them from like pretty much May or June through October usually. So once we get this, I'm like ashamed to even show you this. So our garage is just, it's pretty unbelievable. It literally was just the dumping ground when we were moving just to get things situated. While I'm out here, my sourdough discard has got to be frozen by now. So we'll get that put into the freeze dryer. Oh yeah, solid as a rock, baby. That's what I was looking for. Rock solid discard. Oh my gosh, it even smells amazing frozen. So I'm gonna get these 3 trays of discard in there and my lemon sage honey lemon peels from that little project. All right, so we're gonna get these in. Look how, like, that's how chilly it is out here. All right, gonna get these in, get these rolling. I will show you what the discard looks like when it comes out, because this is the first time that I freeze-dried discard. All right, so I'm not 100% convinced that this focaccia is gonna come out the way it's supposed to, but it did get some big bubbles, so that's positive, and I was able to do this part. So we're gonna I pickled these grape tomatoes over the summer. Aren't these so pretty? Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this. Every time I post about them in my pantry, everybody thinks that I canned egg yolks. I assure you that they are pickled grape tomatoes. So I have those. I'm gonna put some freeze-dried basil on it, maybe some garlic salt. We're gonna pop in the oven and see what happens. All right, so Zad is going to a coffee shop meetup with the chamber tonight, and it's in the same town where we get milk. We're down to 2.5 gallons of milk. It's a 30-minute drive each way to get milk, so I might as well have him do it while he's that direction. So I got our milk crates ready. I'm gonna send him with, I think, 16 half gallons, so he'll get 8 gallons of milk. We pay $5 a gallon for raw A2 Jersey milk. We get it straight out of the tank, take our own containers. It's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna send him to do that. If you're interested in what getting milk out of the tank looks like, I will link that video in the description. It's pretty cool if you've never done it. We love that we have this resource, at least until we get our own cow. Whew, that baby was cold. Jamie's learning how to use the stove. Usually he can start it by himself. So he's making him and Zuzu and Bud some hot chocolate. My focaccia actually looks focaccia-ish. I'm shocked. Let's see how it tastes. Not too bad. We got some bubbles. I'm pretty excited. For how wet this dough was, I was not very confident. It didn't rise super well.
The hot chocolate's hot.
Okay, I'll get it in 1 second. All right, so it's like 8 o'clock at night, obviously. And I am clarifying some bacon grease. We actually typically never do this. We have never had bacon grease go rancid on the counter. I don't know if because we keep our house like pretty cool or we go through it fast enough. I have no idea, but we've never had to clarify it in any way. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna heat it up in this Dutch oven. I'm gonna run it through probably a flour sack towel with the strainer. Like if you've been here for a while, you've seen me do that before, and I'll show you that process when we get there. Zad's thought is that we have like 5 or 6 quarts of bacon grease right now, which is kind of unusual, but we got the hog, we had all that Blessings of Hope bacon, etc. And so we just have an excessive amount of bacon grease right now. So we're gonna clarify that. The other thing I'm working on is I'm gonna start 2 bowls. I would like to freeze one and see how it is when we pull it out. Like once we toast it up, do we like it or not like it? Because my thinking is now, I'm gonna say this out loud and then it's gonna fail. But if it goes well, then I might do a few bowls and a few sandwich breads and then stash them in the freezer. That way, like maybe we could have one a week during the summer or something, because I know what's going to happen. Like as soon as the weather is nice and we're like moving chickens and potentially getting a dairy cow and setting the garden up and the greenhouse and I'll want to be baking, but I know how it goes and we're out until the sun goes down and we're wiped, and I am probably not gonna have as much time to bake bread, which is fine. Like it's a seasonal thing. You bake bread in the winter and you know, you do less baking in the summer. So, but I would love to have some of that kind of stuff stashed in the freezer if it like toasts up well or whatever. So stay tuned, I'll let you know. Hopefully, pray. I'm gonna use the same recipe I used last time. Hopefully it'll come out as pretty as the last one. So, Budhead Youth Group tonight is freezing outside. And I had to pack up both kids and Burr. Okay, anyway, he's home from youth group. Zad had a meetup at a coffee shop tonight with the chamber, so he's not home yet. We're just gonna do informal dinner. So I had thawed these venison hot dogs the other day. Yum, they're like a delicacy. So we're just gonna have those. There's some of the sourdough sausage meatballs that Bud and Jamie made the other day. Finishing those up. Bud's using up some cream cheese, like chive cream cheese spread. And there's obviously focaccia. So we're gonna do super informal dinner tonight. I can't even talk because I'm so cold. Tomorrow I will hopefully be bringing you some beautiful looking dough. We'll see. I got to do all my stretch and folds and whatever. I think I timed it right, so I can run, lift, stretch and fold, do some bookkeeping, stretch and folds. You know the routine if you do sourdough. You just work it in around your life. So I hope you enjoyed today. As always, I hope you're inspired, and we'll see you next time.